I'm Jim Sarantinos. I'm the CEO of the Parramatta Eels. I've been with the club now for just over 9 years and been the CEO at the club for almost 6 years now. It's been really great to see, in particular, how united the club has been. We've been through some difficult periods and some difficult decisions have had to be made, but I think we've seen some really great alignment, which is really important in periods of change. The thing that really stands out for me, from top to bottom, both within the four walls of the organisation but also externally, is I don't feel as though we've been as connected as what we are right now. There were some significant changes in staff personnel, Jason being obviously the most notable one, but then he brought his own support staff in that he felt was going to help go on the journey with him and take him and the club where we needed to be. And then obviously with any new head coach coming into the building, they have a certain philosophy and a certain approach. And one of the things that I've really admired about Jason is when we went through the interview process to appoint him as a head coach, he kind of outlined for us what his vision for the club as a head coach was, and he has very much stuck to that plan. So I very much admire his conviction to sort of execute what he knows is right. But obviously a byproduct of that is change. So I think whilst we've had some players that have been great for the club who have moved on to other opportunities, that's opened the door for a number of other players to come in, but also a lot of younger players to get their opportunity, and I think many of them have grabbed it with both hands. Another real positive for our club over this particular season has been the performance of our pathways programs and the talent that is clearly coming through those pathways. We've invested a lot of time, effort and money into the pathways programs in recent years, in particular coaching, to make sure that the young talent that has always come through our backyard has the best possible opportunity to reach their potential, and I think we're starting to see that. In the past 2 seasons, we've had players selected to Australian schoolboys who are with the club for at least the next 2 seasons, and in some cases beyond that. And I guess it's incumbent on us to make sure that they're given all the tools and the environment around them to make sure that they continue their career in the blue and gold and they reach their potential from an early age. And then the final piece, I guess, that really stands out for us this season is our new home. There's been a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into this project, but now our staff, our players and the wider Eels community are really getting the benefit from that. We've got an amazing home. It's a world-class facility. It provides everything that our staff and players could ever ask for, but it also has created an opportunity for us to welcome our sponsors, our members, our fans and our wider community into our inner sanctum in a way that hasn't been possible in the past. The focus on the connection to the badge has been something that's kind of spread across the entire club, whether it be the impact that I guess statement and vision has on our players, or whether it be on our football staff or our front office staff. It's really caused us to focus on it. And there's so many different touch points. When we first sort of talked about this concept, we talked about the fact that the one thing, whether you're a fan of the club, whether you're a sponsor of the club, or you work or play for the club, we all have this one thing in common, and it is to serve the badge and have that connection to the badge. When Jason came into the club, he talked about how important that was for him and making sure that everyone in the club understood the history and understood the connection, and our past players form a massive part of that. So we're very much welcomed, even more so than what we, I guess, have in the past, our past players, and make sure that they feel a part of the inner sanctum and make sure that they feel like this is their home, and they're welcome to come here at any time. What we're seeing with some of these young players coming through on both the men's and women's side is the result of the focus and the investment that's been placed in the pathways over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Those players transitioning through, it doesn't happen overnight. So there's been a dedicated focus on that in recent years, and making sure that all the work and effort actually turns into results. So it's been fantastic to see those young players come through, and I think It's an exciting moment whenever an NRL player makes their debut, but I think it feels a little bit different when that player has played in your backyard for a long time and fans and members and family have had a connection with the player and the club for a number of years, and that all culminates in them having such a special moment in their career, which is pulling on the jersey in first grade for the first time. It's been really special to be able to celebrate those milestones with the players, but also their families, and bring them into our inner sanctum. A real highlight for me has been the way that we have celebrated milestones this year, whether it be a debut, whether it be someone playing their 200th or 250th game. Having moments like Joe Ash's dog being here for his debut is obviously a little bit unique, but just special to be able to have those that are closest to them, most important to them, being a part of part of those special moments. So it's really exciting. We've got so much more talent that's going to come through over the coming years, and I think again it plays a pivotal part in establishing that sense of belonging to the club. Again, not just within amongst the players and the staff, but also our fans and members who follow the journey of these players from a very young age. Look, there is one that does stand out for me, and it's for a number of reasons, and that's when we celebrated Junior's 250th. Junior's been an incredible servant of the club for many, many years. But the reason why that stood out is how much it just united the club and really brought us all together. And it also kind of was a great showcase of what this new home has done for our club. We've got a central area in the building where we can bring everybody together and celebrate milestones like this, but for that particular celebration we had almost 120 people together, being all of our front office staff, all of our football staff, all of our players, Junior's family, recapping on some of the great highlights and great moments of Junior's career. We heard from Junior, we heard from his mum, and it was just a really special moment to bring everyone together. But it didn't end there, because what we also saw was some of the past players who Junior has a love for, and that's reciprocated, really also join in and buy in. We had Mick Cronin delivering really special messages for Junior, and I know that Mick's got a soft spot for Junior. I think he talks about him being his favourite player in the current squad. So it was just really special to have so many different people that play a different part in the club, whether it be past or current, just join in that celebration. The other one that also stands out for me is when we all came together to announce Mitch's captaincy of the club. That was another really special moment in very similar ways, but the reason why that was special for me is it kind of set a tone for how we were going to behave as a club when these important times came around. Appointing someone as a club captain, particularly when they're a local junior and they've played a lot of the career, is a special moment for everyone at the club. But to be able to have Mitch celebrate it with his family, those that are closest and dearest to him, but again have all of our players, all of our front office staff, all of our football staff together, do that in the pre-season, I think it was kind of really set the tone for us as to how we were going to come together as a club. So that was a really special one for me too. We identified that there was more that we needed to do as a club to make our members and fans feel that connection to the club. I think they voted with their feet, because we've set another record for our membership, just under 37,000, which is a fantastic outcome, and hopefully that continues to grow into season 2026 and beyond. But there are a number of things that we focused on. We held a members forum at the start of the year, so we wanted to create a really open environment for members to be able to ask questions, in particular about the direction of the club and the footy program, and just have a sense of transparency. So I think that was a really important initiative, and one that we'll continue with. We also established our Supporters Group Alliance, which was to bring together a group of 10 long-serving members who I guess have a voice amongst the fan and the member, to be able to meet with them regularly and talk about key issues, not just in terms of what's going on with the club and be able to provide them with insight, but also get feedback from them as to what was important for members and fans, and give us the opportunity to pivot or make change so that we are dealing with issues that are important to our members. And then there was also a strong focus in just creating that stronger connection between our club, the players and the fan and members. So we held a number of open days in the pre-season that continued through the season itself. We held a number of events for interstate games, bringing our members together in the lead up to games, and just that creating that sense of connection and sense of belonging. And I think what we saw this year is our players engage with our fans at games in a way that probably hasn't been seen in recent years. And again, that was a commitment from the players and a commitment from everyone in the footy program in the club to really give back to the fans, who give their time, they give their passion, and they invest their money into the club, and that needs to be recognised with how they're engaged. As I mentioned earlier, there's no doubt that we've been through a journey of change and challenge, but as I reflect on my time at the club, rarely have I seen the patience and the positivity from our members and fans and their commitment to going on the journey with us. So everyone at the club is incredibly grateful for that, and I've got no doubt that we're going to have a great year in 2026, and that commitment from the member and fan is going to continue. And we also have a very big role to play in that through making sure that we maximise the experience for the member and fan. So I think we did a lot of great work this year, and there's a commitment from us to continue with that in the way that we engage with our members and fans in the pre-season, what we do in season through events that we have, particularly for interstate games, but a real strong area of focus for us in the off season is our game day experience, and making sure that we create a great experience for the member and fan from the time that they arrive at the precinct all the way through to the full-time whistle and beyond. So whether that be what our pre-game entertainment looks like, what our halftime entertainment looks like, the experience during the 80 minutes, it's a real area of focus for us, and we're looking to really scale that up for season 2026. We ended the season playing some really good footy, which I think has been well covered. We won 5 of our last 7 games, and 3 of those wins were against teams that have played in the final series. But more importantly, I think we played some really good footy, played consistent footy, and the identity that Jason has been looking for all season has really shone through in that last third of the season. I think continued improvement is definitely going to be the focus, as Jason has mentioned, and I think we've seen a commitment to that from the players all through this year, and so I've got no doubt that they're going to come back with the same mindset. I know from I guess some of the conversations with the players at the back end of the season, they didn't want this season to end. They were enjoying their time together, enjoying how they played their footy and the results that we're obviously getting on the field. So I'm expecting them to bounce into pre-season super excited for what 2026 holds, and provided that the coaching staff and the players get everything that they want out of the pre-season, I've got no doubt that we are going to continue on where we've left off the 2025 season, and if that continued improvement continues throughout 2026, then I think we're going to be right in contention towards the back end of the season. Yeah, I think we've had some really strong performances across our New South Wales Cup, our Jersey Flegg, and also our Harvey Norman women's programs. Both Cup and Flegg qualified for finals this year. Unfortunately, Harvey Norman just missed out. But I think what that talks to is the alignment across the club. We've had a situation here where there has been a lot of turnover in players, and injuries throughout the course of the season. So those programs have been impacted. But I think what that's shown is the agility of our players and their growth in moving between the grades and stepping up to the mark when they've been given that opportunity. And I think that that's just a sign of the depth that we're building at the club, the depth of talent, and the alignment across all of the programs. In terms of our women's program, it continues to grow, it continues to develop. I think it's fair to say that our women's program probably hasn't had the results on the field that they would have liked and what we would have expected at the start of the season. We did have a couple of injuries to some key players earlier in the year, and I think with the expansion of the competition, withstanding injuries to key players is harder, just because the pool of talent, I guess, has been tested with the addition of 2 teams. They ended the season well, but I think everyone would look back and reflect on the fact that there was probably a couple of missed opportunities there where if we had won a couple of games that we felt as though we were entitled to, we probably should be playing finals football. But again, it's a year of progress and it's a year of growth. Another key element of the journey of change that we've been on has obviously been our major sponsor, James Hardy, who obviously in the past had a long running connection with the club, but it's been great to welcome them back into our family. We've really loved the connection, not just between the organisations, but probably more importantly between the people within the organisations. They've invested heavily across all areas of our football program, but also in things that we do in the community. And whenever there's been an opportunity for us to continue to build and grow that partnership, they've always been willing to have the conversation. So they play a very important part in our club, as do all of our sponsors, and we look forward to that partnership continuing to grow. Another key initiative that we've been working on at the club in the background, but really launched publicly this year, has been our foundation. It's a really important pillar of our club. It's focused on supporting our football programs and everything that we do from a community perspective. And one of the real highlights of this season was our foundation long lunch. It was great to see so many people that have a connection to the badge at that event, whether it be our past players, our current staff, sponsors, members, fans. It was just a great day for the club and something that we're really looking to build on. It's a really important path of our growth journey as a club. And we're looking to make that event bigger and better next year. And I'm also especially grateful for a number of the people that have donated significant amounts of money to the club through our foundation that helps our club grow.